Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, good evening, wealth creators. Hey, welcome to another edition of Wealth Creator Live. It's me, Laurean here, professional encourager and wealth creator daily. Hey, what if? What if? I love having what if questions. I hope some of you hop on because I've got some good stuff here for you tonight. But what if there's only one thing? I entitled this live tonight, One Thing, the one thing. What if there's only one thing that is standing in your way to financial freedom? What if there's only one thing? What if? So tonight I want to talk about that there is really only one thing that stands in our way to living financially free. And I'm wondering if you've ever thought about that. Have you ever really thought about, is there, what keeps me from creating wealth in my life? What keeps me from living financially free? What keeps me from abundance? Have you ever given mind to that? Have you ever given mind to that? If you've given mind to that, I see lots of people joining in tonight. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming in. I'm Laurean, professional encourager and wealth creator daily. And I'm, asking the question, what keeps you from having financial freedom? What keeps you from abundance? Have you thought about this? If you've given time to think about this for yourself, put a little one in the comment or send me up some, hearts and love that, you've thought about this. Because I'm here to tell you tonight that there is only one thing that keeps all of us from having financial freedom, from having an abundant life, from having a life that is above and beyond what you and I could ever imagine. And that's a life that actually God intends for us to have. And so I'm going to just say to you, there's only one thing that keeps us from that. And it is, drum roll, the one thing that keeps us from financial freedom is our minds. Okay? Let me tell you this. Wealthy people think differently. They think differently. Okay, so as a man thinks, he is, God said, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you are thinking that you can't have that kind of life, or that life is for somebody else, or you have all kinds of head trash around money, thinking that, it's just hard to create it, or it's only for a select few, and there's only, people who have money because they were born into it, and, the pursuit of money is evil. If you have all that kind of trash around money, you're actually dishonoring it, okay? Because money is a tool created to accelerate us transacting, doing good in the world. Because without it, when we hear of a tragedy on the other side of the world, right? If we didn't have money created, how would we get those resources to somebody quickly? Listen, right now in our cell phone, we can just hit a button and send money to each other, right? I mean, that's how quick we can transact money and wealth today. It is a tool it is a tool designed to be multiplied and for us to create more of, so that we could do more good in the world. So the only thing that keeps us from receiving the abundance that God intended us to receive is our minds. What are we thinking about? Okay, because if we're thinking that it's hard to have our own businesses, that it's impossible, and, you're just kind of settling for less, or, you have all these dreams in your head, but you have all this fear that's telling you don't do it. That's the stuff you have to overcome. You have to shift your mindset. You have to shift your mindset into wealth. You have to shift your mindset into believing what God says of you. Okay, first of all, he says that he gives you the ability to create wealth. So you have to get in alignment with that first and foremost, that it's all possible. It's all possible. It's all possible for you, Andy. It's all possible for you, Stephanie. It is all possible, okay? It's not impossible. Because we can reframe and retrain our brains. And how do we do that? So tonight I wanted to kind of give you some tips on how I do that. And I love that, God actually gives us these answers in the Word of God, okay? He gives us the answers. First, I'm going to give you a little tip. When you have a dream in your heart, one of the things you need to do is you need to cast the vision. It says that in Habakkuk chapter 2, that you need to, create a big vision of that dream that you've got purposed in your heart. You got a business idea, or that you're stepping out, into a new business. Like me, I stepped out into having an online digital business that gives me a passive income daily. And it was a step of faith. I had to believe in myself first. And I had to cast a big vision. And I had to see myself. This is a key. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is a red letter. Jesus actually said this. Let me get the word, because this is so good. Jesus said this. Jesus said this, that you can have anything you want. Basically, he says that. Ask and you shall receive. But he says this. He said this in Mark 11:24. This is so cool, okay? This is so cool. Many people, talk about manifesting and, they make vision boards and all this. I'm telling you, this is biblical. This is how it works, okay? The first thing you have to do is you got to figure out what that desire it is for you to do, or after you've considered a business opportunity and you decide to go into it, you've got to cast the big vision for that business. That's number one. You got to see it in your mind. And not only do you have to see it, listen to what Jesus says. He said this in Mark 11:24. He says, this is Jesus. Therefore, Jesus is saying this to you, Jimmy. This is what God's telling you. He's saying, therefore, I say to you, all things for which you pray, all things that you ask God for, all the things you're talking to God for, all the things that are in your heart and in your mind that you desire to do, guess what? He put them in you, okay? And so that's God speaking to you. If you have an idea and you can't get it out of your head, that is God speaking to you, okay? So all the things for which you pray and ask, all the things that you desire, okay? All of those things, all, not some, all. All. That's a big promise here. Listen up. All of them. Now listen to this. Here's the key. Believe that you have received them. That you have received them. That's past tense. That you already have it. So if God's giving you a desire in your heart, or business idea, or plan in your heart, guess what? He wants you to believe that you've already received it. That's called, casting the vision. That's called manifesting. That's called thinking upon it. That's called meditating on that thing. That's getting it in your heart and saying, you know what? God gave me this desire to do this business. God gave me this big dream, this big vision, and I'm going to see it. Not only am I going to see it, I'm going to see it as success. Why? Because here's the mindset thing. Wealthy people, wealthy mindsets, they don't quit. They believe that everything is possible. They believe that, like Thomas Edison, how many times did it take him to make the light bulb? He knew that if I could think it, and I believed in myself to do it, that God gave me the ability to do it, then guess what? I can have it. It's already a done deal. And it might take me some things to figure out. I don't know how many times he, tested that thing. But guess what? Thank you, Thomas Edison. Because I don't know about you, I'm really like my light bulbs. And I like my little ring light I got over here, right? It's nice to have the lights and just flip the switch. And I don't got to worry about if I got matches to light the candles anymore. So Jesus, that's Jesus he's saying. He says, all things for which you pray, whatever you're praying in your heart, whatever you're thinking upon. I'm going to challenge you to engage your mouth in that, talk to God about it. And you ask, he says, believe that you have received them. So you got to get your mind out. This is a key to the kingdom. This is a key to wealth creation. You must believe that it's done. It is finished. Jesus said, it is finished. That's what he meant. He meant it's all complete. It's all possible. I've equipped you. I've created you. I've given you the ability to create wealth. I've made you this way. Guess what? You already are a success. If you believe it, guess what? Then he says, then they will be granted to you. Then you're going to get it. But the first thing is you've got to engage your mind. It's the one thing. It's the one thing. Success is like 90% belief. Belief in yourself. Belief that it's possible. Belief that there's nothing you cannot do. It's a key to your success. If you don't have that kind of belief, you're going to, fall into unbelief and fear, and you're going to quit on yourself. And God's like, you don't have to quit on yourself. So here's lead me to part number 2, okay? I'm going to give you some tools on how do I keep my mind right? How do I keep my mind in creation mode, in wealthy mindset? How do I keep my mind moving forward even when some little stinking thinking creeps in? So here's a tip, okay? You can shift your mindset. There's a great book called The Slight Edge. I'd suggest you read it. I'm sorry, right now I can't think of the author's name, but it's called The Slight Edge. And really, it is the difference between, picking yourself back up and moving forward towards the abundant life, towards creating wealth, more than you and I could ever imagine. And that slight edge is just shifting your mindset. No matter what circumstances coming your way, you look at everything as an opportunity to grow, everything to learn, even the bad things. You just quickly ask yourself a few questions like, what is it in here that I can learn? Or what is the solution to this problem? You start asking and believing and expecting an answers, and they will come, okay? So here's a key. So say you are, sitting at your desk and you are just negative Nelly, right, up in the mind, right? Your mind is just, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm like spinning my wheels. I don't know why I got into this business. Who did I think I was that I could write a book? Whatever that crap, head trash is coming in to basically rob and pillage you of the wealth that you are, okay? Here's how you shift that. This is so cool. Here's another verse. I love God. God gives you answers if you seek. Seek and you shall find, okay? It says in 2 Timothy 1:7, it says this. For God has not given us, me and you, a spirit of fear, okay? So anytime you have limiting beliefs about yourself or fear or worry or doubt or all of those things, that is not of God. Okay, that is crap that he desires you to get out of, especially if you're stressed out and worried and, anxious, and all that nonsense is going on in your mind. You're up all night. You cannot sleep. Okay, here's how you shift out of that. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. Okay, you're all tripping up in your head. telling yourself all kinds of crap about, I'm crappy, I'm too lazy to do this, I can't do this, I'm too fat to get on social media, nobody's going to want to listen to me. Trust me, I've said that to myself, okay? And here you all are listening to me, and I'm a little chubby. Okay, so here's what you do. God is not a spirit of fear. He's power. He's love. And he's sound mind. Okay? So here's what's going on. I'm giving myself some head trash. I should just quit. I don't know why I'm doing this. Now, I start to recognize I'm going down the rabbit hole of fear and doubt and all this stuff. Now, I recognize this. Okay? Now you go and ask yourself this. Laurean, is that thought empowering me? Is that thought empowering me? Or is that thought draining my energy? Is that thought, causing me fear? Is this a loving thought that I have about myself, about what God says I am? God says that I am a queen, for goodness sakes. God says that I can do all things. Am I telling myself that I can do all things when I tell myself, you shouldn't have never done this, you're not smart enough? Do you see what I'm saying? It's called aligning your mindset right. This is getting back into the wealth that you are, getting back into the wealth mindset. So is this an empowering thought? Is this a loving thought to myself? Is this a thought of sound mind, or am I in chaos and confusion and I can't make decisions and I'm wondering what the heck I'm doing? There is the key right there. 3 questions to ask yourself when you're falling off the faith wagon, when you're going into doubt, worry, fear, lack mentality, when you're saying, I can't do this because I don't have the money, I shouldn't do this. You know what? This is where you ask yourself the questions. Is this an empowering thought? Is this thought moving me towards my big vision, my big dream, the things that I desire to do in my life? Is this loving what I'm thinking and what I'm speaking out of my mouth? Am I, in love, or am I in fear? Is this of sound mind? Am I thinking clearly about what it is I desire to do? So that's how you get your brain back in check. And that's 2 Timothy 1:7. You simply, start being mindful of your mind. What's going on up there? One of the things that I do, because I'm telling you, this is a big thing. I have a lot of limiting thoughts and things that creep in me that have held me back in my life. And when I said, you know what? I'm going to choose God. I'm going to choose to believe. If he says I can do all things, then guess what? I'm going to live that thing. I'm going to live my full potential and create wealth and make an impact, because with more money, I can do more good in the world. With more money, I have a lever that can move things quickly. I can transact faster. But I had to reprogram my mind and get it back in alignment with it's all possible. With realizing and respecting money and thinking properly about it and having sound mind over the decisions, not being willy-nilly in my thoughts and getting all crazy and worked up about things. I had to exhale and breathe and rest when I was catching myself falling into anxiety thoughts and waking up all night and worrying about bills. That's not my responsibility. He's the provider. I had to shift my mind. Is this an empowering thought? Is this a loving thought over my life? Is this a sound decision? So you start getting consciously aware. It's that slight edge of, where am I going? Where are my thoughts drifting to? Are my thoughts leading me focused? Are they? Do I have definiteness of purpose, like Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich? Read that book too. Do I have a target? Can I see it sharply in my mind? And is my mind working with me towards that goal, or is it drifting out of love into fear, into chaos, then let me shift it back. Let me get that slight edge. Let me just choose, make a decision. No, I'm not going to believe that. I'm going to believe that I can do it. I'm going to believe that I can do all things. Why? Because God says I can and he lives in me. So what can't I do? You see, you shift it. You change that energy around it and you get back in focus and you get on and you keep on keeping on. And this is how you do it. One thought at a time. Your thoughts matter. I have to literally set alarms in my phone and do some brain checkups throughout the day. I suggest you do this. I suggest you keep a pad of paper. Or one of the things we do in our mentoring program, in the Legacy Builder program, is we have jars. We call them doubt jars. Or you can call them limiting belief jars or fear jars, whatever you want to call it. Have a jar, and every time you think something stupid about yourself, put that thought in the jar and break up with it. And say, you know what, that is not who I am. And when that jar is filled, honestly, take it and burn it. Burn it up, because that is not who you are. And you replace those limiting thoughts. Start declaring some I am statements over your life. I am a wealth creator daily. I am creating passive income, working 2 or 3 hours a day, using my cell phone and an automated system that works for me so I can create income, $100, $600, $900 every time somebody clicks on my link and they grab hold of how awesome this program is and they start creating wealth daily for themselves too, because that is what I do. And you can do that too. And if you want to know more about that, put it in the comments. Because if you're sitting in lack and poverty and you think that you're like, I don't even have the money to start a business. I'm telling you that's a lie. First of all, there are payment programs. And if you even just have $100, you can get in and start and have your own business all set up for you within 24 hours. And then you can get coaching and mentoring and all the crazy encouragement from me. And you can start bringing in income even when you sleep. It's possible. All things are possible. So, how do we, keep our mindset right? We got to do mental health checks throughout the day. What are you thinking about? What are you focusing on? Where your mind goes, your money flows. That is true. If you are always worried about it, you're repelling it. You've got to be postured to receive wealth. You've got to be wealth because you are wealth. And you've got to be postured to receive it instead of thinking it's hard to make money. Start decreeing and declaring, money loves me. Money comes from me from known and unknown sources. Money comes from the work of my hands. Money comes from gifts. Money comes to me easily. I always have ideas to create and multiply the wealth that I am. See, you've got to start seeing yourself wealthy so that the wealth can come to you. This is how it works. So get your mindset right. The number one thing that keeps us from financial freedom is our minds. And it is the mindset that matters. It's the mindset that will, push you through when you come up with a struggle in your business where you say, I really don't know what to do next. I'm confused. I don't know what to. You know what? When you get your mind right and you say, you know what? I don't know right now, but I trust there is an answer to this. And I believe that, the solutions are coming to me. See, when you open yourself to receive the answers come. The answers come. So your mindset is the number one reason, the number one thing that creates wealth. You must believe it. You must see it done. Just like Jesus said. Jesus literally said it. He said, Therefore, I say to you, all things for which you pray, all things, not some things for which you pray, believe that you have received them. Believe that you have them already. Believe that it is finished. Believe that it is complete. And they will be granted to you. God is waiting for you to believe it. God is waiting for you to say, I know I can do this, God, because you gave me this idea. I know I can do this, God. I know I can create wealth online with a proven blueprint, with mentoring and encouragement and automated system. And I know because you've placed people in this lady right here in front of me. She's doing it. If she can do it, I can do it too. Why? Because you're not a respecter of persons. And you created us all with the ability to create wealth. See, it's getting the mind aligned. It's getting the mind right. And then taking that step of faith and doing it. With God, all things are possible. You've got to believe that it's done and it's finished and it's complete first. And then, guess what? It's like little breadcrumbs, like God leaves this path in front of you, and he's a way maker and the promise keeper. You're saying, God, I believe that you gave me this idea to do this thing. So if you gave me this ability and you gave me this idea and you're the way maker, thank you. Thanks for showing me the way. I'm telling you, once you get out of the boat and onto the water with him, it's illumination. All of a sudden, everything comes to you. But you have to believe and believe that it's already done and complete. You've got to see it and you've got to believe it. Number one key to success is you, your mind. What do you think about you? Do you believe how intelligent you are? Do you believe that you are able to do anything? Do you have belief in you? If you don't, you need to get it because that's who you are. You are a wealth creator. It's no doubt. There is no special sauce here, right? Like only some people can do it. Because if you study successful people, they come from everywhere. People who've been homeless to people who have crazy college degrees. It doesn't matter. What matters is your desire and your belief that you can do it. That's all that makes the difference between us and those who are wealthy. Guess what? They believe it. They believe it. They see it. They desire it. They think about it. They start learning, how can I create wealth? They take classes. They learn, how do I have an online digital business working on an automation when I can only work 2 or 3 hours a day and bring in a passive income of $900 daily? How is it that people do this? Well, let me ask Laurean because she's doing it. I'm telling you, it's real. You can do it too. You can use that money like I'm doing to build my bigger vision, because one day I see it in my mind, and it's always in my mind, is that I'm going to have this like retreat center where I'm going to host mastermind meetings, where I'm going to help people break off limiting beliefs off their mind and understand how God designed us to create wealth from the spirit and to the earth and walking in the fullness of our identity. How am I going to buy this retreat center? By doing this, by learning everything about digital marketing, by learning everything about how do I sell the courses and programs that I already created. Guess what? I get to learn and earn because I can resell this beautiful product that I am learning from myself. It's called a master resale rate. I make 100% profit. I don't have inventory to worry about. I got to ship things all over the world. I don't got to do anything. I get to talk to people and inspire them they can do this too. It lights me up because I'm on a mission to break poverty off of minds, hearts, spirits, souls, and wallets. This is my passion. This is what I know I'm called to do. And it fits so beautifully into what I'm doing. Why? Because as I'm creating wealth, I'm teaching you can create wealth too. And with more money, we get to do more good in the world and fund the big, big visions and dreams that we desire in our hearts, which is what God desires for you and me. Listen, I hope, Daniel and, all of you, thank you for coming in and listening. This is it. As a man thinks he is. Wealthy people think differently. Get curious about that. Their energy around it is different. They believe that money is meant to be is a tool to be grown. They don't hold on to it and hoard it. They look for ways of how can I make more. That's what I'm doing. I'm making a stream of revenue off of a digital product. It's one of many. I have my own courses. I have coaching and consulting that I do with people. I also I've published a book. I'm an author. I just published a planner. It's coming out next week. I'm getting ready to put ads up for that. These are all different streams of revenue. I'm looking at how can I multiply what I have and create generational wealth so that I don't ever have to worry about, do I have enough money to put gas in the car? Do I have enough money to, pay this month's bills? Trust me, I know what that feels like. I've been broke. And this is why I'm also passionate about that too, because I had, after my husband died 7 years ago, I had to leave my home because I couldn't afford to keep it any longer. I know what it means to lose everything and have to start over. I've been there. And this is why I know that one of the things I'm called to do is help people get out of that cycle. And it starts with your mindset, and it starts with getting mentors and other people to get behind you, to build up your confidence, to build up your faith, and to show you, here's some systems, here's some things that work. I'm telling you, if you've never had a business, you can have a business within 24 hours, and you could be selling digital products and making a stream of revenue to get you out of debt. And I would, if you want to know about that, put in the comment, I want to know about that, Laurean. And I would love for you to be, my mentor and help me develop my mindset and learn all of these secrets of success, which really they aren't secrets. It's just we just haven't been made consciously aware of how it works. And I would love to help you understand God's full intent is that we are all to be wealthy and abundant. And he speaks a lot about in the Word of God. And I've studied this for years because I was like, I am not going to die with my full potential left inside of me. And I'm going to leave a lasting legacy for my children and grandchildren and the next generation. And they will be known as the blessed and highly favored of the Lord, because that is who we all are. And so I'm on a mission to teach everybody to break free of this lack and poverty mindset and to create wealth. God gives you the ability to do it. Don't ever doubt yourself. Don't ever doubt yourself. I would love to come alongside you, help you do that. Let me know, make a comment, click a link. I do have a free blueprint that you could see, and it's what I'm following myself. But if you really want to learn more, or you need some encouragement, or you want to know more about, mindset, all these things, leave a comment. I'd love to, get in touch with you. Now, sometimes you'll get automated message from me because I get a lot of weirdos asking me stuff. But if you go into the email and you email me, if you put your email in, and then I'll reply back. And if you have questions or whatever, I will answer them. I promise you, I will do it via email. I will not necessarily do it in a chat here because sadly there's creepy people. Okay. And I have to, I guard my heart, I guard my mind, I guard my space. Okay. So, but I'd love to help you out anytime. If you have any questions, if you have questions here, ask me. If you want to know about, the program I'm doing, if you want me to pray for you, I will be glad to pray for you. I would love to pray for you. I love to pray. Anything you might have, just drop a comment and let me know. And thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you. And listen, the one thing that keeps you from your financial freedom is your own mind. And Here's the good news. You can change your mind. You can change your mind. Decide for you today. Decide now that my mind is going to be healthy and I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to have a wealth mindset, a mindset that all things are possible, a mindset that knows that I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, a mindset that knows that if I just decide and choose to stay positive, choose to stay open, choose to receive and get other mentors and people to encourage me around me, get in the pool of success. Success breeds success. You just choose. You choose you be wealth. You be it. See it, as Jesus said. Believe that you have received it. Believe that you have it already. See it in your mind and take those steps of action towards that big vision that he has for you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Laurean, professional encourager, wealth creator daily.